This is Skye, the Soulful Progressive with FNN-Feminist News Network, the Feminist News that's right for you. Welcome to Skye in the Blue Room, giving you that soulful news you need, yes indeed. And if you haven't told a friend to like or subscribe to that soulful news today, you better let them know it's coming their way. Alright, so what do I want to talk to you about today? What is going on? Bernie Sanders. And what is Bernie Sanders talking about? He's talking at the Poor People's Campaign, giving his feel on what he thinks is best for poor people, without mentioning people of color. Now, Barbara said it up, and then Barbara said it down. Barbara said it again, and said it around and around. But Bernie didn't get a clue, and he didn't know what to do. He didn't even act right and say, look, I understand and I know, and Pacific policies for black and brown, here they go. He didn't say none of that. So we're going to take a look, and then we're going to discuss why Bernie is losing the black vote.
The question I have for you, and we've asked all the candidates this, is how will your candidacy, your presidency, and the way you present issues go south in communities that have been deliberately divided? Because if they ever figure out that if you white and and can't pay your light bill, and you black and can't pay your light bill, we all black in the dark. So how will your campaign go to those places and fuse and help to build those coalitions, not by going around race and poverty, but by going through it and being honest?
Well, I think that's an enormously important question. And in a sense, that's what we've been doing in this campaign. We have been going to parts of the country where Donald Trump won. And we say to those white workers, you think African Americans and immigrants are your enemies? Well, you got it backwards. Why don't you take a look at Wall Street, the drug companies, the insurance companies, and the military-industrial complex. What demagogues always do is try to divide people up so that their anger and their frustration comes out on minorities, people who have no political power. And Reverend, what our campaign is about is exactly the opposite. It is bringing people together and taking on Trump's divisiveness.
We had less voting rights today than we had 50 years ago because of what happened with Shelby. Not one debate was dedicated to systemic racism, starting with voter suppression. We've asked every candidate, will your candidacy push for, and how will you do it, to say to all of the corporate media, we need some debates, at least one, and this is not a black debate, it's an American debate, where we address in that debate systemic racism, policy racism, poverty, ecological devastation, militarism as a whole, so that America can see these intersectional injustices and how they are hurting all of us. Will your campaign push for that? Because we need not a forum just in here, but a full televised debate on those issues.
You want a short answer to that question? Yes, of course.
Yes.
All right, and the answer is, many people are giving up on politics. A lot of poor people are giving up on politics. Why do they give up on politics? Because they never hear the issues, whether it's systemic racism, whether it's voter suppression, whether it is working for $9 an hour, whether it's not having health care, not having child care. They don't hear those issues being discussed. And I think your point is that we have to bring those issues that make sense, that all the issues, the life and death issues, that people face.
Can you tell us what your plan is that's comprehensive, fully implementable, immediately, to eradicate poverty, racism, ecological devastation, and militarism?
30 seconds or less. Here's what I believe. And we just gave a speech just on this subject a week ago. But we have got to go further as a nation. And that means that economic rights are human rights.
My question is, where are you on the full restoration of the Voting Rights Act? Where do you stand on making the issue of racialized gerrymandering a national issue, that all people understand that racialized gerrymandering doesn't just hurt black people, it hurts everybody, and showing that in the data? In other words, teaching people that because of this racialized voter gerrymandering, that's why you have a legislature that's turning down living wages and health care. And how are you going to come into the South particularly campaign and build those coalitions to do that?
Of course, I believe in restoring all of the provisions of the Voting Rights Act. Passed legislation deliberately aimed at young people, keeping them from participating in those elections.
Senator Sanders,
yeah.
I'm going to do what you did to me. Can I interrupt just a second?
You sure can.
And the reason I say that, I understand it is in the North, but I want the nation to hear these stats. If you can control 13 southern states, from Virginia to Texas, by racialized voter suppression and voter suppression, you can control almost 170 electoral votes, 31% of the United States Congress, 26 members of the United States Senate, which means you only need 25 from the other 37 states, and you only need 21% from the other 37 states to control the Congress. And then you control it in legislatures. And then you're able to block. We know it's in the North, but people in this room understand that if we're going to fundamentally change this country, politicians can't try to find a way around the South. They better go through the South and raise those issues.
If I may, I will be in South Carolina within the week, and you watch me talk about this issue specifically. That we should live in a country of one person, one vote, where majority rules. It's a radical idea, but that is what I believe in. So to answer your question, Reverend, we will end excessive gerrymandering in this country once and for all.
See, this is why he's losing the vote. He's not getting Pacific. I understand that everybody's poor. I understand everybody's going through a struggle. But for black and brown people systemically, their struggle is different. Their struggle is greater. Their struggle is more per capita than the great number that is out there that is poor in general. It's like, look what's happening to the brown people at the border. There's concentration camps being made for them. And us, our concentration camps is the GO prisons that, just like the GO concentration camps are being provided by, the prison industrial system is our concentration camps. And brothers and sisters are dying in there by the thousands. Yes, we are not living 15 years longer than, say, the other working class and those that are elite and rich. We already know this. Don't run down statistics, Bernie, that we're living through. The struggle is ours. What we need to know is that you understand the struggle and you have a plan to help that struggle, which means you have to have a plan for not just the poor, but but the black and brown poor. Or you will lose the vote because the ADOS, the DOS, and those of sovereignty from the other islands and territories want to know that they're being thought of, just like the DOS. And that means you got to be Pacific. And there should be policies, there should be bills created to help those. Yes, I am talking Yes, I am talking reparations and a lot more, because we are the ones that have struggled and built this state and still paid our taxes and paid the prices for paying those taxes. And what has came back to us? Nothing. Not even a decent infrastructure system that helps fix the highways and build better schools. Ugliness. So, if you agree that Bernie needs to earn that vote and work on that vote, leave comments below, because I know. And then contact me. If you want to become a reporter, you got something to say about Bernie, contact me at FeministNewsN@gmail.com. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and the Facebook page. And remember, I'm that Soulful Progressive on Twitter, and I got that rant of the day on Blogger. Alright, and I'm that one-woman team, yes indeed. So, if you care to donate, that's PayPal me, Feminist News Network. Alright, so remember, in this era of hate, you gotta participate, or we will have a non-democratic state. United States, that is. It's already gone in the wrong direction. Let's make sure we can get a hold of those reins and turn it back and try to save America. I know that's right. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. Peace.